So scaling for me is like a very reactive thing. Every campaign is very different. Like it's hard to give you a blueprint of what I do because it changes every time. Like, what is this a promotion? Is this an evergreen campaign? Is this e-commerce? Is this information? Because lead gen is very, very different from, direct to consumer optimizing for a purchase right out of the gate. But that said, I do have a few guidelines that I follow. So in terms of like vertical scaling is what I call budget increasing. So something's working, let's just do more with what we have. Usually I increase the budget about 50% every 3 to 7 days. I'm pretty conservative. Now that's for an evergreen campaign, something that could run forever. I'm like every 3 to 7 days, 3 on the more aggressive end for me, 7 on the more like relaxed. I just want this to last forever, Molly.
Yeah.
That's kind of my sweet spot. Now, if we're in the middle of a promotion and I'm running leads for a webinar that's in 3 days, or it's a flash sale, then I might double or triple, like I'll go hog wild, who knows? But if I want like that 3 to 7 day, about 50% every 3 to 7 days is what I found to be like, if you think about Facebook as like, I don't know, this animal that you're feeding. This is a terrible analogy, but like, and you don't want to like, you don't want to like overfeed Facebook, but you don't want to underfeed Facebook, because if you do either of those, your CPA goes up, like your return on ad spend gets all wild.
Yeah.
You guys know that. That's why increasing the budget is always scary. So like that is sort of the sweet spot of like Facebook's fed. This is steady. Like, let's, kind of take it slow. But of course, that's not always the case. But for me, when something's working and I'm ready for scaling, like increasing the budget's easy. And that's pretty much what I do. I don't do a lot of going in and turning off genders that aren't working and like making the age groups smaller and like throwing in other stuff. Like I said earlier, any tweak, and you guys know this, any tweak you make to the campaign, you have the opportunity that you just blew that whole thing away.
Totally.
You made that change and the whole thing could just, fall to the ground. And so I just try to let Facebook do its thing. And most of my focus in that time is on what I call horizontal scaling. So this thing worked. People want this offer. It's for a price that I can pay. Now, how can I get it in front of more people? So I'm going back to my list of interests. I'm creating new campaigns with new ad sets with all those other interests that I found during my research, using the same post IDs as the ads that were in my test campaign. And I'm creating as many of those campaigns as I can. So I've got the social proof, and now I'm just saying, okay, Facebook, now go over here, right? The people are over here, they're over here. And also launching a campaign with just broad targeting and just lookalikes. So, and new campaigns, because we're in CBO now, like before that would have been creating new ad sets, of course. But so, I'm trying to scale in that way first. Like I've got ads that work. I just want to put them in front of more people. That's no more work for me really than just building new campaigns. Like, let's do that. And then my next step from there is kind of like, okay, strategically, are there any other hooks like we talked about earlier, any other creatives? I think that based off of what I'm seeing in terms of the response to my initial ads, is there anything new I can create to go back and add to my older campaigns possibly, or even my new campaigns that will just help with fatigue? Because with scale, what you're mostly fighting is fatigue. So then I'm kind of going into that new asset creation mode that we talked about. And then I kind of go a full step bigger, and I'm like, okay, are there like completely different avatars I could go after? Like I worked for I ran ads for Panda Planner last year, and they sell planners, and they're really cool planners, but there's nothing other than they're like scientifically proven to make you happier, which is cool.
Really?
Yeah, but there's not like a true hook there. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like I can go out and target people that like notebooks on Facebook and like this is going to be a hit. Like that, it doesn't work like that. So with that business, I gathered a ton of user generated content, kind of figured out where my buckets were, and I went after moms, and it worked really, really well. Then I went after people dealing with anxiety and depression, and people kind of looking at meditation and therapy to help with that. we went after entrepreneurs, architects, and like that was a huge part of scaling for that business. And I didn't even change the copy on the landing page. It was just switching out ads with new stories, you know?
Yeah.
Wow,
This made my mom life better. You know, I have 4 kids, and before I felt like I was even going to miss their birthday, and let alone clean the house. And,
So
you know,
do you
I
have
use
long
this
stories
planner.
like that in your ad copy?
Oh yeah. And I use this
Interesting.
planner, and, you know, now I have a stability in my life. And it's like, cool,
Yeah.
you just made this planner, which you could probably buy at Target. Like, love you, Mike, if you're watching this. No, like the product's awesome, but like they could get this item anywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm just showing up and telling their story. That's it. And then for those, I was using a carousel of images of that person. So that's why like dynamic creative wouldn't work for me in a lot of these scenarios, because it's different.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm going to a higher level and saying, okay, are there other avatars this is applicable to? Are there other offers even? Like maybe it's a lead magnet that's working really well. Like, can I create another one that the market would like that's like different but slightly similar? Another product even? So another rabbit hole, but those are Molly's like levels of scale.